Theft is now costing retailers in the United States about $100 billion every year, Michael Snyder reports. If we don't fix this, will the retail industry be able to survive? There has always been shoplifting, but in the old days it was at a level that made it only a minor nuisance to the big box retailers. Unfortunately, now everything has changed. Highly organized gangs develop extremely sophisticated plans for how to rapidly loot major retailers, and the best ones can be in and out in just minutes. Those goods are then resold online or in the streets. And the amounts that we're talking about are absolutely staggering. In fact, as you'll see, theft is now costing retailers in this country about $100 billion every year. This week, Target made headlines all over the nation when it publicly admitted that theft will cost it $500 million more than it did last year. Target said Wednesday that organized retail crime will fuel $500 million more in stolen and lost merchandise this year compared with a year ago. Target's inventory loss, called shrink, totaled amount about $763 million last fiscal year, based on calculations from the company's financial filings. With the anticipated increase, shrink this year would surpass $1 billion. Let's do some math. $763 million from last year plus $500 million more this year equals $1.263 billion. So please keep that in mind, that this is just one chain. As Target CEO Brian Cornell openly admitted earlier this week, organized retail crime has become a massive problem across the entire retail industry. The unfortunate fact is violent incidents are increasing at our stores and across the entire retail industry, and when products are stolen, simply put, they are no longer available for guests who depend on them. Left unchecked, organized retail crime degrades the communities we call home. As we work to address this problem, the safety of our guests and our team members will always be our primary concern. Beyond safety concerns, worsening shrink rates are putting significant pressure on our financial results, CEO Brian Cornell said on a call with reporters. In the entire history of our nation, we have never seen anything quite like this. Do you remember when all the looting that we witnessed during the riots of a couple of years ago? Well, now the looting literally never stops. It's become very sophisticated. According to the NRF report, which conducted its latest assessment in partnership with global risk advisory firm K2 Integrity, these organized retail crime groups primarily favor large national retailers and big box retailers and cargo shipments for booster operations. They are also more likely to target everyday customer goods rather than luxury products. Based on an analysis of 116 groups, 81% exclusively stole general consumer goods. And these groups have also been planning out their booster operations in advance by studying store layouts, camera and exit locations, understanding the types of anti-theft precautions, and knowing the different store policies for stopping suspected thieves. The report said, boosters are known as individuals who are paid to commit theft on behalf of these groups. In 2020, theft cost U.S. retailers $90.8 billion, and that number increased to $94.5 billion in 2021. Last year, a survey from the National Retail Federation, an industry group, found that so-called shrink, or losses attributed to theft, fraud, or even employee error, amounted to $94.5 billion in losses in 2021. That was up from $90.8 billion in 2020, and the survey found that retailers reported a 26.5% increase in organized retail crime on average. The final number for 2022 is expected to be somewhere around $100 billion, and the final number for 2023 is expected to be way above $100 billion. For a while, major retailers tried to weather the storm because they had invested so much money in these stores. But now retailers after retailer is shutting down location in the cities where organized retail crime is the worst. In fact, even Walmart is now shutting down stores in the most troubled areas. Walmart decided to shut 17 of its stores across 9 states after CEO Doug McMillon warned in December that theft was the highest it's ever been around the country, and if it did not slow down, stores would have to close. And the company announced on Tuesday it would be shutting half its Chicago stores, mostly located on the crime-ridden city's southwest and west sides, because they were losing tens of millions every year. So where do we go from here? That is a very good question, because conditions in many of our major cities just continue to get worse. For example, an 83-year-old Vietnam veteran says that he actually felt safer walking in the streets of Saigon than he does walking in the streets of Portland, Oregon. He said, I felt safer when I was walking around in downtown Saigon when I was in Vietnam than I do here in Portland. 83-year-old Vietnam veteran Armand Martins told Fox 12 Oregon about a homeless camp where people were using and setting fire to properties. Martins told how his neighbors had been terrorized by squatters who set up camp next door to their home and even set their property on fire. So far, more than 2,600 businesses have left downtown Portland, Oregon, and we're just talking about a handful of businesses that have decided that it's time to look for greener pastures. What we're witnessing is literally a mass exodus, and that is because Portland now resembles a Mad Max movie. Real estate developer Dustin Michael Miller told Fox and Friends First that he's moving his company out of Portland after his office was targeted in a rain of bullets in the incident he described as absolute madness. It's not uncommon to see homeless people running around the city, and it's just a common thing that nobody does anything about, Miller said. You call the police and it's very rare that they even show up. Of course, the exact same thing could be said about any other large city. Happy Day star Scott Baio has admitted that he has decided to sell his home and leave Los Angeles for good because the city has literally become unlivable. The actor said he's been forced out of his $3.85 million home in Woodland Hills, LA, because the city has become unlivable, citing the homeless doing drugs on the sidewalk in the middle of the day, a crime being out of control, and graffiti on everything. Between the homeless defecating on sidewalks and the drug problem in the middle of the day, illegal aliens all over the place, law means nothing, crime is out of control, graffiti on everything, all of my tax dollars, I don't know what they go for, Bao said. And this is our country now. We've been eagerly embracing evil for decades, and as a result, now evil is evident around us. I wish I could tell you that things will be much better in the next couple of years, but I can't do that because it isn't true. In fact, as economic conditions deteriorate, it's likely that the looting will go on to an entirely new level. Decades of very bad decisions have brought us to this point, and now we're paying a very great price for our foolishness. This is by Michael Snyder. It says about the author, my name is Michael, and my brand new book entitled End Times is now available on Amazon. In addition to my new book, I've written 6 other books that are available on Amazon, including 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters, commissions earned. When you purchase any of these books, you help to support the work that I'm doing. And one way that you can really help is by sending copies as gifts to family and friends. Time is short, and I need help getting these warnings into the hands of as many people as possible. I have also started a brand new Substack newsletter, and I encourage you to subscribe so that you don't miss any of my articles. I have published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the most important news, and the articles that I publish on those sites are republished on dozens of other prominent websites all over the globe. I always freely and happily allow others to republish my articles on their own websites, but I also ask that they include this about the author section with each article. The material contained in this article is for general information purposes only, and readers should consult licensed professionals before making any legal, business, financial, or health decisions. I encourage you to follow me on social media, Facebook and Twitter, and any way that you can share these articles with others is definitely a great help. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, I strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. And this is on the Economic Collapse blog by Michael Snyder. Please leave your comments, and thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.